Hello, awesome readers. Welcome to Story Time for All Kids. Today's story is Slow Money is Better Than No Money, written by Rashad Patterson. In many urban environments, working a job isn't considered cool. Due to a lack of resources, many inner-city youth resort to alternative methods in making a living. How can you stand up on your feet all day making $8 an hour? Hard work pays off. Atlanta, Georgia. Tyrone is 16 years old. He recently got hired at a restaurant near his house. While walking to work, Tyrone is approached by a group of boys harassing him about his job. The boys try to persuade Tyrone to quit his job. Tyrone ignores the boys and continues walking to work. Yes, sir. You need to get like us. Lil' brah, we out here getting this paperwork. I'm good. I'd rather earn my money the honest way. After a 10-minute walk down Cashby Street, Tyrone arrives at work. Tyrone's manager, Mr. Walker, opens the door so Tyrone can enter into the restaurant. Mr. Walker gives Tyrone different tasks to complete as he starts his shift. Good morning, Tyrone. I need you to take the trash outside and mop the floor. Tyrone takes the trash outside, then he mops the floor. After completing his task, Tyrone turns on the grill and fryer. The first customer of the day orders a number one. The number one consists of a double cheeseburger, fries, and a drink. Hello, how may I serve you? I would like to order the number one. The restaurant was extremely busy for a Monday. Tyrone was unable to take a break. Before closing the restaurant, Tyrone mops the floor and empties the trash. Mr. Walker counts the money from the register and puts it in the safe. Mr. Walker and Tyrone lock the door to the restaurant and head home. Mr. Walker, I'll see you tomorrow. Okay, have a good night, Tyrone. Tyrone begins his 10-minute walk home. While walking home, Tyrone is approached by Mel and Little Jerry. Mel and Little Jerry harass Tyrone about his job. Tyrone ignores Mel and Little Jerry and continues to walk home. Burger Boy, holler at us when you're ready to make some real money. Burger Boy, how was work today? When Tyrone arrives home, he irons his work clothes for the next day. After ironing his work clothes, Tyrone goes to sleep. The next morning, Tyrone is awakened by his alarm clock. After eating breakfast, Tyrone walks to work. While walking to work, Tyrone sees a police officer arresting Lil Jerry. Tyrone arrives to work 15 minutes early. Mr. Walker compliments Tyrone for his hard work and his dedication to the job. I appreciate your hard work, Tyrone. The restaurant was extremely busy from lunchtime to closing. Hello, how may I serve you? I would like to order a salmon salad. Before the shift ended, Mr. Walker passes out paychecks to all employees. The next morning, Tyrone wakes up early to deposit his check into his bank account. Tyrone saves 70% of his money and lives off the remaining 30%. After leaving the bank, Tyrone heads to work. While walking to work, Tyrone passes Mel and Lil Jerry. Lil Jerry was released from jail earlier that morning. Mel and Lil Jerry harass Tyrone as usual about working a job. Tyrone arrives at work 15 minutes early. Mr. Walker opens the door for Tyrone and tells him he needs to talk to him. Tyrone and Mr. Walker walk back to the office. Mr. Walker offers Tyrone a position as supervisor and gives him a $2 raise. Tyrone accepts the position as supervisor. Tyrone, I want to offer you a position as supervisor. Thank you, Mr. Walker. Since Tyrone has accepted the position as supervisor, he is responsible for opening the store, handling customer complaints, and inventory. Remember, Lisa, the customer is always right. Okay, Tyrone. Tyrone walks to the back of the restaurant to unload the new inventory for the week. 2 boxes of fries are missing from the inventory order. Sorry, we will have the boxes of fries in an hour. The food truck returns later that day, before the restaurant closes, to deliver the missing boxes of fries. Tyrone begins his 10-minute walk home. While walking home, Tyrone is approached by Mel and Lil Jerry. Mel and Lil Jerry harass Tyrone about his job. Tyrone ignores Mel and Lil Jerry and continues to walk home. Burger Boy got a promotion. After a 15-minute walk from work, Tyrone arrives home. Tyrone turns on his stereo and falls asleep. The next morning, on his day off, Tyrone decides to go to a car dealership. After the car salesman checks Tyrone's credit, he is allowed to purchase a car with a down payment of $1,000. After purchasing his car, Tyrone drives home. Tyrone passes Mel and Lil Jerry on his way home. Tyrone parks his car in the driveway and walks in the house. Tyrone's mother is looking out of the window when he drives up. After talking to his mother, Tyrone goes to his room. Tyrone, I'm so proud of you. Tyrone irons his clothes before he goes to bed. Around 10 p.m., Tyrone falls asleep. Tyrone's alarm clock wakes him up at 6 in the morning. Tyrone gets up, brushes his teeth, and takes a shower. After eating breakfast, Tyrone starts his car and pulls out of the driveway. While driving to work, Tyrone sees Mel and Lil Jerry getting arrested on the corner of Cashby and Hunter Street. The employees prepare for the lunch rush. Mel and Lil Jerry come to the restaurant to order some food. While ordering food, they harass Tyrone about his job. Hello, how may I serve you? We've been on Cashby and Hunter Street working all day. Mel and Lil Jerry flash a large amount of money in the restaurant. After the lunch rush, the restaurant was extremely slow, so Tyrone closes the restaurant early. While driving home from work, Tyrone sees Mel and Lil Jerry getting arrested again. 10 minutes later, Tyrone arrives home. Tyrone parks his car in the driveway and walks in the house. Tyrone watches television for an hour before going to bed. When Tyrone starts school, he will only be able to work 4 days a week. The next morning, Tyrone eats breakfast before he goes to work. After eating breakfast, Tyrone starts his car and heads to work. While driving to work, Tyrone doesn't see Mel and Lil Jerry on Cashby and Hunter Street because they are still in jail. Tyrone continues to work at the restaurant until he graduates from high school. After graduating from high school, he enrolls in college. Tyrone decides to major in sociology. Mel and Lil Jerry continue to get arrested at the corner of Cashby and Hunter Street. After multiple arrests, Mel and Lil Jerry have to serve time in prison. The end. I hope that you enjoyed this story. If you did, please be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe. And a special thank you to author Rashad Patterson.